I'm Joe Betcher. I'm one of the assistant program directors and ultrasound director. I'm from West Michigan. I grew up in Allegan. My family's here as well. I went to medical school at Michigan State College of Human Medicine and did residency at University of Michigan and an ultrasound fellowship over there as well.
Adam Anderson. I grew up in West Michigan, Spring Lake to be exact, and went to the University of Notre Dame for undergrad, then Loyola University Chicago for med school. And I did my residency in the U.S. Air Force at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio.
I'm Marilyn Innes. I grew up in Ontario, Canada. My med school was at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, and my residency was at the University of Toronto.
I'm William Deaton, originally from Columbus Junction, Iowa, which is a tiny town in southeast Iowa. Went to medical school in Kansas City at University of Health Sciences, now KCUMB, and then did my residency at Metro Health in Grand Rapids, and then came out here in 2008.
My name is Mark Eidenberg. Grew up in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Went to medical school at University of Calgary in Alberta. And I did residency in Grand Rapids at the MSU program at Spectrum Health.
My name is Nicholas McManus. I'm one of the core faculty members here. I grew up on the east side of the state in a town called Troy, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit. I did undergrad and med school at Michigan State. I actually was the first resident here through our program and stayed here as an attendant.
Well, of course, I really enjoy teaching. I enjoy teaching in the clinical environment, but also developing educational interventions like some of the simulations that we have done here in our program, doing lectures or doing small group teaching for the residents as well.
Teaching, really, is where my career is headed lately. The last few years has been all about teaching and interacting with residents and students. I used to be full-time clinical for about 20 years before I transitioned over to teaching.
My career interests currently are mainly revolve around ultrasound, as well as our didactics for the residency, trying to boost and improve them continuously.
EMS has always been an interest of mine. I started out as a paramedic before going to med school, and then moonlighted with Aeromed throughout residency, and then at the beginning part of my career was working with them as well. So EMS has always kind of had a special spot with me.
My career interests outside of the emergency department is heavy in disaster preparedness, EMS. We're in the process here of designing an EMS track for students that are interested in that. We have Region 6 for the state of Michigan is located as a central hub here at our hospital. So the opportunities to get involved in EMS as a student learner is a lot greater than it is in other parts of the state or even country.
I really like the people here. I think that we have a lot of really engaged core faculty members who are always working to make things new and fresh and to deliver the content in a way that makes it easy for residents to learn. I love our residents. Our residents are so engaged in education, so enthusiastic and friendly. It's a really great group to work with.
I think one of the best things about our program is that we have all the resources you could ever want. We're a big hospital, we're a level 2 trauma center, yet we don't have some of the residency programs that other big hospitals have when it comes to doing an intubation or a central line or reducing a hip or any of these procedures. You're first in line to do it. There's no one else here that's going to do this procedure for you, so you really become the expert in the resuscitation in the first couple hours of the patient's needs here in the emergency department.
I feel the biggest strength of our program is honestly the relaxed atmosphere that we work in. I do enjoy the other attendings. We encourage the residents through their residency and not discourage them, even though we try and keep them on track, which for me was a change from what I had experienced in some of my residency experiences when I was a resident 20 years ago. So I do enjoy the social aspect of the residency and giving the residents a chance to enjoy life, the parts of their life outside of the ER.
One, we're a fairly new program. However, I feel that that's a fairly good strength because all of our residents to be involved in kind of advancing and what we can do to make our residency better. We do grow every year, and I feel like every change we make makes us grow for the better. I think that the autonomy that we have as emergency department physicians here is greater than most academic centers because you get to do everything. If a ortho patient comes in, you're doing the sedation and the reduction. By the time our residents are on their own, they will have done most critical care procedures that are kind of the zebra procedures before they leave here and feel proficient in it.
I think that we have a program that's very community-based, but where people have strong academic interests, and I don't think that you see that very commonly. But I think that that's a unique thing about us and a reason to consider us.
Camaraderie. We're a relatively small residency, so we get to know everybody extremely well. I think we are in the business of producing extremely good clinicians that are ready to practice when they get out of residency.
We have a pretty diverse patient population that we see here in Muskegon. We really have all comers. We have a population of lower socioeconomic status that have a lot of healthcare needs, as well as we have patients from the capture site of the entire side of West Michigan, which gives us a pretty broad and diverse patient population in the emergency department.
There's not really any competing hospital. We're the only hospital here, west of Coopersville, and we take everything from the south, from the north, gets transferred to our institution, which is quite unique.
We see patients from all sorts of backgrounds. We do see lots of patients who come from backgrounds where there are communication barriers. We see patients who come from various socioeconomic backgrounds. We do see patients who have a history of substance abuse. And we see patients who are at various levels of engagement with their own healthcare. And I think that having such a broad range of patients in my daily practice makes me a better doctor.
It's really hard to describe how a smaller community such as Muskegon has the high acuity that we see here until you're actually, in it.
We're in Muskegon, so it's not a major center, but the place still gets a wide variety of cases that make you feel like you're in a major center, and we certainly are not short on acuity here.
One of the things that we've really worked on in our program in the last few years in terms of culture is building resilience for each member of the faculty and for each resident. So we actually do educational things that help us to build upon our skills at maintaining our own resilience and our skills for learning from the things that happen to us in our clinical practice. And so we do some reflective practice together and some reflective practice individually to help us to learn, but also to process some of the things that happen to us in our clinical practice that can lead to burnout or to unwellness in the long term. So I think that one of the things that we're doing right now that's really going to be helpful for all of us in the future is developing those skills so that we can be resilient physicians and have long and happy careers.
I think our culture is one of continuous improvement and continuous learning, and I think we teach our residents that they should not be afraid to fail and to ask questions and to know that we are here to support them in their learning process. And so I think they can take that to the next level when they're ready to be attendings.
I think the program's culture is, like I had said earlier, it's one of encouragement. And you're going to have difficult times in the future when you're an ER doctor, especially if you're going to work at a place on your own. And it's nice to know that you've been trained in a place where you are prepared for something like that. Both from a medical standpoint and from an emotional standpoint, I think we encourage people to prepare themselves for those things in the future. And we talk a lot about what it's like to go through difficult cases together from both an emotional and a medical standpoint. I think that's a very positive thing for our residents.
There's a good, growth pattern for moonlighting for our residents. So by their fourth year, they're working in an emergency department on their own, but they also have the fallback and feedback from us as attendings at our main hospital in order to guide them through. So they have a lot of autonomy, but also have the comfort of home still in that location. So that by the time that they do go out on their own and graduate, our residents are kind of at the top of their game and above many of their peers in that regard.
The engagement of our faculty and our mentoring relationships with our residents. I think it's rare that you have a program where the faculty can get to know the residents as well as we do and work a lot of shifts one-on-one with them. I think that's due to our size and our campuses that we rotate our residents through.
There's water pretty much every direction that you go. You walk 5 minutes in any direction, you'll fall into a lake. And Lake Michigan, which is, we live right off the coast of Lake Michigan, is pretty phenomenal. They have multiple different beaches. You can go camping, you can do camping and camp on the beach. You can have fires on the beach. It's unique to be able to work and live in a place that other people call their vacation homes.
Yeah, I live in a semi-rural community outside of Grand Rapids. I live on a lake. I really love it. We enjoy getting out on the lake in the summer and doing lots of summer activities. And then in the winter, we try to flood a rink, and we enjoy getting out and skating.
I really think that West Michigan, especially the area we live in, is one of the nicest places to live in the entire state. We have the entire coastline available to us. There's a lot of small, nice little cities. There's plenty of things to do without it being a huge, massive town without tons of traffic, but there's plenty of nice things to do and get outdoors continuously.
I live in Grand Rapids, which is 45 minutes away from Muskegon. I like living there because you have this feel of a bigger city where you have the downtown, which has restaurant options. You have a professional sports team. Professional. But those things you get without all the issues of traffic that you may get in a place like Chicago, for instance. And so I do like the community-sized feel of the city, even though it's a larger city.
Having grown up here and then come back here, I think that it's a great community. The cost of living is low. It's a very safe community, and there is just a ton to do here in West Michigan with regard to outdoors and the things that I like to do with regard to fishing and hunting and boating, enjoying the beaches. I love the four seasons. The school districts are really good around here as well with regard to families. All my children went through public school in Spring Lake.
I spend a lot of time with my family. We really enjoy being outside, both in the summer and in the winter. And we also I also spend time with our golden retriever. We have a cat as well, and we enjoy some of the museums in Grand Rapids. I like to take my son to the Grand Rapids Public Museum. We enjoy going to the John Paul Zoo.
My hobbies are largely outdoors. I like snowboarding in the wintertime, fishing and hunting, mountain biking, hiking, those kind of things. Boating is big for our family. Wake surfing, a lot of fun.
Personal hobbies right now mostly revolve around my kids. My daughter's in softball and my son's in baseball, and I coach both of them. And then my youngest is just kind of along for the ride right now. And also enjoy doing pretty much everything outside: hunting, fishing, hiking. That's pretty much it for now.
Personal interests, primarily ice hockey, including both following professionally and playing, is my one thing I really enjoy.
Things I do in my free time, I'm big into mountain biking. I also spend a lot of time on the lake. I have a boat here on Lake Michigan and take my family as well as the residents and other faculty out quite frequently this summer.
Other than that, it's what else do I do for hobbies? Not much else. Keep up a house with 6 kids. Yes. Running a family. Sorry, funding the family. Someone else runs the family. I fund the family.
For fun, I like to do a lot of outdoor stuff. I like hiking. I like camping. I like boating. I like fishing. Salmon is big around here. Bass fishing is huge, and then certainly a lot of pan fishing. Trout fishing, either in the stream, or you can do salmon in the stream or in the big lake is pretty good. So if you like outdoors, this is a place to be because everything's right here.
I really enjoy spending time in the outdoors, and you usually can find something to do fun every season here, including the wintertime. Snowboarding, cross-country skiing, winter camping, certainly in the summertime enjoying the beaches and the lakes. And then I also spend some time just personally playing guitar, and I love music.